And one thing, just maybe a little bit out of order here, but we're fielding questions, and Mark is fielding questions from this group as we move through the presentation, and Jay will continue walking through this. We did have a question, Brian. We got you. We heard your question in relation to the rep that you work with. Brian works with Annette, who's one of our reps, does a great job. We have a number of reps here, and so Jay, and I just want to take the time to share with you, Jay is extremely knowledgeable about scoreboards. All of our sales reps are. So and we'll talk about next steps when we conclude this session, but as we move through this, know that you can reach us, and whether it be Jay or one of the other sales reps, any of these reps can assist you. They're going to be, all of them will be knowledgeable about scoreboards, and so we want to make sure that we get you handled promptly. So,
thanks, Mike. Okay, moving on. Parks and Rec organization. Parks by Scoreboards, they usually almost always have baseball facilities as well as indoor facilities. I've ran across several that actually up north that have hockey facilities for the community as well. All of these people need scoreboards in their facilities. Local youth clubs and churches, this can include, but it's not limited to, YMCAs, Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Churches often have church leagues that play. Some of the large churches actually have their own indoor facilities. They'll set up basketball scoreboards. Not that uncommon. Now I'll tell you a little bit about when these customers actually purchase scoreboards. Scoreboards are actually usually purchased anywhere from 3 to 4 months before the season is set to begin. Baseball, for instance, the purchasing season usually runs anywhere from January through May, while football, they purchase between May and August. Soccer scoreboards are purchased July through November. It's actually kind of tough to nail down soccer. Soccer is played at different times in different parts of the country. I know that here we are, I believe the boys, like high school and college boys, usually play in the fall, while the girls play in the spring, so that varies from one place to the next.
And on some of these sports, and soccer is a great example, it's virtually year-round in many areas because school will be one time of year, and then the club leagues will be playing at other times of year. And really, it seems that almost each of the sports is that way. This is what Jay's sharing with you is not intended to be a definitive chart or definitive calendar on when scoreboards are sold for each of these sports, but it's really just a guide. Baseball, and if any of you have kids that are playing in summer leagues or traveling teams and so forth, you know that these things, many of these sports are virtually year-round at this point.
Let's see here. Basketball, they usually purchase scoreboards between August and December, while volleyball and wrestling programs are looking at October, November, and December. Take a few minutes to tell you about our tech support department. We actually have our tech service department. It's available 24/7. We have somebody on call all the time. Our standard hours are 9 to 5 while everybody's here in the office, but we do have somebody on call at all times in case there is something going on where a game's being played and they have questions about the scoreboard. They can contact our tech service department, and they'll help walk them through it. Our warranty information for scoreboards, all of our scoreboards come standard with a 5-year warranty, and it's 5-year parts and 1-year in-house labor, which means that all the parts are covered for full 5 years. The in-house labor for any components that are sent in will cover the in-house labor costs for the first year, and the following 4 years the customer will have to pay the in-house labor to have those parts serviced. As I mentioned earlier, all of our tech service department, we're all located here in Murray, Kentucky. Available 9 to 5 Central Time, as well as, like I said, somebody on call 24/7. So easy to get a hold of. All of our tech service guys have spent a lot of time in the field actually installing these scoreboards, as well as in the back manufacturing them, and really know everything backwards and forwards. We have a really quick turnaround on our parts and repairs. I'd say probably 2 weeks. Any parts or components that are sent in for repair usually get repaired and sent back out within about a 2-week period of time, if not sooner. Easy to service and maintain. All of our scoreboards are designed in a very modular way. They're set up from the beginning. They're designed in the beginning to make sure that they're easy to work on. Any of the components that are in the scoreboard are easy to take out using simple hand tools without any serious technical knowledge. If you can work a screwdriver, if you can get up on a ladder to get to the scoreboard, you can take out all of the major components and remove them to send them back to us for either repair or replacement. Now, talk to you a little bit about the installation of the scoreboard. As I mentioned earlier, the scoreboard's a very modular design. They're centered around usually a 4-foot by 8-foot diagram where, like I said, if you have a 20-foot baseball scoreboard, it's comprised of 5 4-foot by 8-foot sections. We do that so that we have smaller units to ship. Once they actually reach the field, reach the sign company, they can be laid out, all these things, all the panels placed side by side on the ground. We include angle iron with the scoreboard to use that to bolt all the panels together, hook up the wiring from one panel to the next, lift the scoreboard up, put it in place to mount to the mounting posts. Time required for installation. As you can probably guess, this varies wildly depending on the size of the scoreboard. A small 4-foot by 8-foot baseball scoreboard is not going to take nearly as long to install as a 10-foot by 36-foot scoreboard. Now that being said, you're going to want to pretty much always have 2 days to install these boards. If you're putting in new posts, you're going to have to be out there the first day installing these posts, waiting for the concrete to set, and then usually return the following day to put the scoreboard together and actually mount it to those posts.
But it's probably fair to say that 2 days would be sufficient for the vast majority of the boards, unless you're into something much larger.
Yes, yes. I mean, for example, if you have, like I said, like a standard 4-foot by 8-foot scoreboard or a single panel scoreboard that would mount to 2 columns, it'd probably be a total of 12 hours for installation. The first day, like I said, sitting the posts, getting them lined up, probably 6 hours for that. The following day, come back, and it'd probably take you about 6 hours to get it up in place and mounted to those posts and hook up the wire, the electrical, and all that. Equipment needed for installation. You'll need the equipment to actually set the posts. If you're replacing existing scoreboard, a lot of times the existing posts can be reused. You'll also need some equipment in order to get the scoreboard panels up, a lift, a winch of some type, to actually get the scoreboard up and in place to mount it to those posts. The scoreboards either will bolt to the posts, or actually some of our installers will actually weld them directly to the posts. Take a few minutes to tell you about what the process is for actually going out in the field, meeting with the customers, and contacting us, getting the scoreboards and purchasing everything. It starts out with you, the sign dealer, going out in the field, meeting with the customer, deciding exactly what they need, what they're wanting, what best suits them. At that point, you can give us a call, and we can help walk you through the right product for your customer. At that point in time, we can also put together a price quote for you that would include the scoreboard itself, any peripherals, the controller, delay of game clocks, shot clocks, whatever it is they need. Put together a price quote, a wholesale price quote, based on those that information, and send that to you. At that point in time, once you receive that price, and once again, that's a distributor price, take that, put your margin on that, your 30% margin on it, determine what it's going to take for you to install it, your markup on the installation, return that to the customer. Once the customer purchases the scoreboard, submit the order to us. We will manufacture the board and ship it to you. Like I said, 2 to 3 weeks probably for manufacturing and shipping, and then we can assist you, help walk you through any questions you may have as far as the installation of it. Okay, now Mike's going to tell you a little bit about the next steps that are involved. And
before we go to there, you guys, I got a quick couple of questions. Justin Hendricks asks if we have any marketing materials that we could send out.
Okay, Justin, that's a great question, and if you give us a couple of slides, we will be there. It's a very good question, and that's part of the next steps. So fair enough, and we'll get to that here in just a moment.
And we have another one. How do I become a supplier? That was asked.
Okay, that too we will cover in this section, and a terrific question, and that's part of this next steps. Okay, where do we go from here? So hopefully as we've moved through this, you have a handle on how Scorecom is radically changing how scoreboards are sold. This has not been done in the scoreboard industry. It's a very big deal. It puts you in play on projects that you've never had an opportunity to participate on in the past. So hopefully you're excited about it. We are extremely enthusiastic about it, and we were excited about it previously. We are equally or more so excited now because of the response even to this session. We send out an invitation to this webinar and have such an overwhelming response. So we know that we're on the right track. We hope that you're excited about it as well, and hopefully, as Jay was sharing with you who customers are and things of that nature, the wheels start turning in your mind and you start thinking about opportunities that you have in your market to pursue. So now what? We've spent some time going through what our vision is, where the scoreboard business, where that industry is heading. So now what? Where do we go from here? And in fact, I was on the line with one of you, Bo. If you're on the line, I remember talking with you. I believe it was you. Some time back, and you had shared that you have a sign company, been in business for a number of years, very successful, want to sell scoreboards, want to move forward with this, but where do I go? What do I do from here? And those types of questions is what has led us to this session. The very first thing that we would suggest doing is making a list of the potential customers in your market. Again, you're surrounded by many of these contacts. You probably are in and out of some of these facilities already. I would begin by making a list of the schools, of the parks, of the other organizations that are in your market, and begin to target some of those for potential projects. On the bottom of these screens, you're going to see an 800 number, and that's the number for sign quarters. If you dial 1, you dial into that number, you press 1 for sales, you will roll to one of our sales reps. It will be Jay or one of our other sales reps, and I know that several of you on this call have worked with our different reps, and so I've seen that. So call that number, and when you contact us, and that's the question that was asked a moment ago, how do I become a dealer of your products? Call this number, contact us, and we will supply, and again, the other question from Justin, I believe, do you have materials? We will, yes is the answer. We will send you materials. I would also, so in addition to the catalogs, which you see on the left, we also have other sales materials. We have DVDs that are available that show a number of products and actually installation on a few of our products. And so there is no shortage of marketing material, and we want to provide that to you. So contact us, and we'll be able to do that and get that information to you. Would also ask that you would contact our sales reps for guidance, and especially as you get started selling a scoreboard. Most of you are new on this. As you begin to contact us and let us guide you in choosing the best product for your particular project, or scoreboard accessories. Jay mentioned accessories a moment ago, and so we can walk you through installation details, and many of the questions that you might have, we would be happy to give you guidance on and assist in that way. Another important resource for you is our website. If you go to www.scorecom.com, that will bring you into, it's actually in the Sign Quarters website, but that will bring you into the Scoreboard section of our website. So familiarize yourself, I would encourage you to familiarize yourself with the scoreboards that are on that website, and the site is very user-friendly. It will allow you to navigate through different sports, and you can readily see the types of boards that are available that Jay just walked through, and you can see more detail around those. A lot of you will want to know a lot more detail, obviously, than what Jay was able to share. So become familiar with that website. A lot of information there. Certainly would also encourage you to call as well. Would also encourage you to become familiar with the distributor price list. And this, again, this is our price list to you. We sell to you. You add your margin, and then you add your margin to that project, and then you would price that to your end user as appropriate.
Right. As I mentioned earlier, we also can provide you with a manufacturer-suggested retail price list that will kind of give you some assistance deciding what is the proper markup for this and what you should ask as far as a retail price for this.
Okay, thank you, Jay. We had a question come in. I'm not sure who the person who asked that question. Was it Todd? Okay, I think Todd, I believe it was you who had asked this question. The question that Todd asked is, does your company make signs for industrial environments, such as data, on-time performance, days without an injury or an accident? And Todd, we can discuss that more offline, but just I'll share with the group as part of your question here. Sign Quarters manufactures a variety of electronic signage products. So to answer your question, yes, we are into some of those categories that you just shared. I know there seems to be a significant interest in accident timers, things of that nature. So yes is the answer to that. and we can discuss that in more detail offline.